Good morning, welcome back to Marty's Tying Bench. Today I'm pulling together materials for our first of the season pub and dub, our social fly tying for the Rocky Mountain Flycasters Trout Unlimited chapter in Fort Collins, Colorado. We're going to start off with a simple pattern. We got a lot of beginners. This is a great one for that. It's called a Crackleback by a man named Ed Story. It dates back to the 50s and it serves as kind of an attractor, all-purpose fly. Mostly fished as a dry fly, but you can sink it, you can retrieve it like a wet fly, you can put a split shot in front of it. Very versatile. It can be tied as big as a 12 or as small as whatever hackle you got, 20 or 22s even. This is a 16, very common size. The color of thread doesn't matter, but use a dry fly thread, something that's 8/0 or 70 denier. I'm going to start off with a couple of strands of peacock and just tie it in somewhere in the middle. And we're going to go to the back, the last part of the straight part of the hook, and keep that on top. Keep the peacock on top of the hook. Now we're going to install some hackle and try and get one that's a good size. I want something that barely extends past the hook point. Now that's a lot. So let's grab a different hackle. That's much better. That one barely extends past the point of the hook. You'll see these tied with some pretty big hackle, but I think that kind of gets in the way and bounces off of fish lips and makes it harder for them to get at it. Alright, I've tied in my hackle. Now I'm going to dub the body with any light color dubbing. You'll see them tied in tan, cream, light olive. You want something lighter because you'll get the contrast with the peacock when we pull it over. Doesn't take very much. It's pretty forgiving. If you end up with a heavy dubbing noodle and a thick body, that's okay. We're going to dub from the back. I can use a little more dubbing. There we go. Now, I'm going to pull this peacock over the top. And you see that little ridge back? It's kind of cool. I'm going to lay it not quite on the top of the hook. I'm going to make it just a little bit on my side, because when we wrap that hackle over the top, it's going to make that thing creep towards the middle. If you start it off in the middle, it'll creep over towards the side and it'll still work. Alright, just going to palmer the hackle through. Doesn't matter which direction your hackle cups. This is pretty straight hackle, especially doesn't matter. You'll see these things tied recommending that the curve goes towards the front, which is kind of the classic distinction between hackling a dry fly and a wet fly. Tie that off. Neat little head, and there you got a crackleback. So that ridge is still pretty much right down the middle. You get that contrast between the top and the bottom. Pretty quick tie. If you're an experienced tyer, then I suggest you tie a lot of them and turn to the beginner next to you and help them. Thanks. Good luck.